Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here from FBE Capital. Let's jump right into it.
Yes guys, the truth truly hurts when talking about older women revealing their true dating experiences instead of the feminist propaganda plastered all over social media.
Good morning, everyone. So I haven't done an update in a bit on the dating in your 50s. So much fun. I'm having such a fun time.
So then you tell yourself, it's okay, I'm strong, I'm happy, I'm doing fine.
Yeah, right. Please drop a like on the video if you think that people that are constantly screaming at you about how happy they are probably lying, and comment down below what you think. Currently, social media is flooded with women claiming it's wonderful to be old and single because it aligns with the narrative of women not needing men.
I swear also, half of these people that are making these videos saying how happy they are like dating coaches or divorce coaches or things like this, where they're trying to extract money from women just by lying to them and telling them that you're a strong independent queen and everything's fine and you can find your Prince Charming when you're like 55. You just have to follow my 3-step guide. And also it's going to cost you $2,000, right? Like, all of these women are completely and utterly clueless. They're 50 plus years of age, sitting there trying to give dating advice and saying how great it is for them. It's disgusting, man.
It's wonderful to be old and single because it aligns with the narrative of women not needing men. But when you ask real women that don't want to sell you a course or some dating consultancy service on how life actually is, then they would tell you a completely different story.
This whole dating thing, especially at my age, over 50, is just bullshit.
I wonder if I have lost the ability to connect, having been single a long time, dated a lot, like, have I lost that ability?
So when women hit 30 and they're like, oh, I'm not married, I don't have kids, they definitely go through this panic.
It's hard to get a guy to even get to the point of actually going on a date.
You know what this reminds me of? When you have these women saying that dating sucks and that it's so impossible for them. Here's what an example is. This is kind of like a person who has hundreds of millions of dollars. They sit there, and then over the course of a few years, they burn all of it because they want to, right? They completely throw it away. They spend it on degeneracy. They waste the whole lot. You get the idea. And then they want to turn around a few years later and complain about the price of a cup of coffee. This is what this reminds me of, guys. Just people who are so incredibly delusional. The reason why I don't feel sorry for these women is because they do it to themselves. They divorce their husbands, they try and steal his money or their kids, they're out here chasing bad boys for decades at a time, and I'm supposed to feel sorry for them? I don't. I really do not.
Or meeting for the first time.
You see, I already proved this massive discrepancy between the false narrative and the real-world experience when it comes to women getting older and continuing to date in my Age of Desperation video linked up here, where I went into the lies of egg freezing. When you ignore the social media hype and just look at the actual numbers, things start to look a lot more depressing, and women are not freezing their fertility at all.
I really thought this process would slow down my biological clock and I wouldn't feel as much pressure. And I feel way more pressure now.
And now we are seeing real-world proof of this from Coco Beauty, where she had a complete mental breakdown when she tried to go freeze her eggs and found out that she's close to being infertile and that it might never work.
I've been crying the entire day. And people say oh, you're not alone, this happens to so many women, but I mean, it feels very alone. Lonely.
You see, she's yet another victim of the feminist propaganda machine that she herself is actually guilty of participating in. And so now in this video, we're going in deeper, starting with first the hypocrisy and lies of older women contradicting themselves, then following up with the problems of older women dating younger men, and finishing with the grand finale of older women creating single mothers out of their own daughters to then blame the whole disaster on, of course, men.
I wonder how many. Let's go back here for a second. So this woman right here, I think we've covered her before, actually. This one that's crying right here. Wow, what a great thumbnail. This is hilarious. This is like comedy to me. It really is. I wonder how many women this woman has lied to and said, don't worry, you have until you're 40, you're totally fine. Your Prince Charming will come eventually. Focus on your career. Focus on yourself, right? Be obsessed with yourself and your healing journey. I mean, we've all heard this crap before, haven't we, guys? Okay, focus on yourself. Focus on yourself. And then they're like 35 and they have no eggs left. So not only is this woman sitting here crying about a situation that she did to herself, but she's also probably encouraged a whole lot of other women to do the same thing. I mean, look at this. This woman is a... I can't even say this without like laughing or cringing. This is a dating coach. Okay, look at this. Gets her top 3 videos here have millions of views on them. I think we've covered them a couple of times. Ordinarily, she gets far less, but she's hit the algorithm a couple of times. She says no to walks and coffee as dating options, right? She's a dating coach for women, and yet she's completely and utterly failed. This is like a financial advisor, guys, who is homeless. That's really what it is. It's like a financial advisor who's completely homeless. But let's continue. Why women stay or leave unhappy marriages? Well, I mean, I could explain that, but let's take a listen to this woman. It'll be some comedy.
First up is this lovely lady who is a certified jaded man-hater, and this becomes very clear very quickly when you listen to her talking about older men dating younger women.
The only kind of men that date and marry women that are substantially younger than them are insecure men.
Spoken like a pure, bitter woman. This is what women say when they get older. Guys, I'm telling you, it is totally fine when the woman's in her 20s and she's dating some dude in his late 30s, even 40s. It's totally fine when the women are the ones who are younger and they're dating older guys and they're getting the attention, they're getting the validation, they're getting the resources. But when they get to 30 and they get to 40 and they're no longer the ones getting attention, then we have to shame other people and say, oh, well, that's just, he's an insecure person, or he likes little girls, or they start throwing around this shaming language, even though it's perfectly legal, everybody's consenting adults, but they try and paint the guy like he's an insecure man, or he's creepy, and things like this. But it was never a problem when they were the young ones getting attention. Notice this, guys, it's always the old women who have aged out who say this crap. No eggs left, right? Completely and utterly bitter. Didn't get money in the divorce. Maybe she did, who knows? But now we're sitting here complaining about men liking younger women. Also, this is something that's very obvious, okay? Dudes like younger women. Men on average, I think, like 23-year-olds, regardless of what age they are. I mean, this is nothing new. This is biology. But of course, she has no idea what biology is. She has absolutely no clue.
These are men that want to exploit women, that want to dominate women.
Okay, so can I sit here, am I allowed to then say that every woman who dates an older guy is just a gold digger? Am I allowed to say that? I mean, probably not, right? I'd get cancelled immediately. If I started saying that crap on TikTok of all places, I'd get banned so damn quickly. But we just completely ignore biology. We ignore that men look for fertility, and we ignore the fact that women look for provisioning and experience. We just totally ignore those things.
That want to dominate women.
Okay, so clearly older men dating younger women is bad. That's her stance, right? Now let's see what she thinks about older women dating younger men.
Let's talk about older women who date younger men, and I am one of them.
This woman makes a whole video vilifying men that date younger women, but it turns out she's doing the exact same thing. But I'm not surprised, because like I showed in my Passport Bro series, linked up here, it is these types of Western women who constantly complain about men and their dating preferences, but end up being massive hypocrites since they do the exact same thing.
You know what's crazy about men's dating preferences? Is that men don't have crazy standards. It's not like we're walking around requiring women to make millions of dollars a year. We're not the ones walking around with height requirements. Every requirement that a dude has is more or less changeable, right? Like, women just have to not screw up and they're fine. Men have to put in like years of work to even be considered for long-term relationships a lot of the time. I mean, if you're a guy and you've been ignored since you're, since your teen years into your early 20s and things like this, as you get older, if you make more money and things like this, you're going to get those "Hey stranger" texts. I mean, how many dudes in their 30s now have received those "hey stranger" texts from women who are now looking to be taken care of? Okay, but dudes don't have this stuff. We just want you to be a pleasant person who hasn't been with a whole bunch of dudes and who doesn't eat a lot of fast food. Notice how all of, women can get a really high quality dude just from abstaining from degeneracy, but they can't do that. Like, they're completely incapable of abstaining from degeneracy. They have to go out there and experience the world and experience all of these different guys. Like, no thanks, man. I don't want to date that. No guy is looking at like some 40-year-old who's been with a whole bunch of dudes and she's unpleasant to be around. And the guy's like, hell yeah, let me invest into that.
Passport movement is more American male toxicity.
That made me decide to go to Italy today.
If you've ever been to the Balkans, you know what I'm talking about, and it's all men.
But yeah, you can't really expect that type of chivalry that I have found in other countries.
But it gets better when you listen to...
I've seen this talk a lot of like women saying that they found chivalry in other countries, but they never show their ring. They never walk away with the boyfriend. It seems to me like you just went to these countries, you got in a bunch of random dudes' beds, and you still don't have a relationship. I mean, this is why we're laughing at you in the first place, Like, you haven't proved anything. You went to other countries and you got more attention from dudes. I mean, congratulations. Women get attention from men by existing. Everybody knows this. It's not a flex to go out there and end up in a bunch of different dudes' beds. They're so lost, man. They're so incredibly lost.
To why she's doing it.
I do that for two reasons. Number one, physical. It's basic principles of attraction.
Yeah, no shit, lady. That's what men say. Younger women are hot. It's not rocket science. But somehow when men say this and date younger women, it's a problem and it's called exploitation. It's simply ridiculous. Now moving on to the 40-something party girl from Vegas who constantly switches between being okay and having a mental breakdown.
Why? Because I've been her.
So to set the scene here, she's in her 40s and she only dates younger men, which she really wants to make clear.
I'm dating a 24-year-old and I'm 41.
I prefer to date younger men. I date younger men pretty much exclusively.
Okay, so we get it. She only dates younger men. So how is that working out?
Men are cowards. Men will meet the woman of their dreams, but because they're not willing to live up to her light or her standard or her whatever they perceive it to be, they will take advantage, they'll destroy her.
Was there really any other outcome here?
It is amazing to me how you have women like this who think that they are like a princess, right? They think that they're the man's dream. You're not any dude's dream wife or girlfriend. This is why you can't get them to commit to you. This is like Delusion 101. If you were so fantastic, you wouldn't have any issues having a long-term relationship. That's really the way it is, guys. I see so many women, they're like, oh yeah, I'm a 10, right? Or I'm just the best woman he can possibly get. And it's like, okay, why hasn't he made you his wife then? Oh, because he's insecure. I mean, do these women hear themselves? This is like selling a car, going out there, selling a car, nobody wants to buy it, and then you blame it on the customers. Can you guys imagine, for those of you who are watching this, who are like business owners, right? Imagine you're sitting there, you're selling your product in your store or online or whatever it is that where you sell them, and somebody doesn't buy a particular product, but you sit there and your conclusion is that the customer is in the wrong. You see how people who understand other people, they realize how stupid this is. Like, if you're a business owner, you'd be like, well, it's, there's something wrong with the product probably, or people just don't want it. I'm going to switch it out. I'm going to change it because people obviously don't want this, right? But these women, they don't have any foresight. They have no intellect, so to speak of. So they have to sit there and they just blame other people. Imagine if dudes sat here blaming other people all the time. I mean, a lot of guys do this and they end up being losers. But men get left behind if they do this, right? Nobody cares about a man who does this.
Was there really any other outcome here? I mean, let's face it, every single time we see a woman so adamant and so angry
What I want to know is, why do you care?
about how wonderful her life is and explaining to you that she's perfectly fine, then clearly that is not the case. But anyways, it's about to get a lot worse, since remember, she thinks that men are cowards for not committing to a woman, and she does not want to play games.
I thought at this point he was done with these games.
Except, this is the same woman who was considering marrying a guy while she was already dating another guy for almost 2 years.
And Bo, who I've been dating since July of 2022, is almost 18 years younger than me, okay?
So 2 weeks ago, on my birthday, I was proposed to by somebody that I've known since 9th grade.
Are you kidding me? So this woman talks about men playing games, is in a 2-year relationship.
We are still dating, I don't know what to tell you. We like each other. He's kind. He doesn't shut down and tell me that I'm crazy, like men my own age.
When she gets proposed to,
Yeah, see, this is just disgusting. This woman is so damn clueless, man. So, can you guys imagine, right? You go out here and you propose to a woman. Hell, let's scratch that. Imagine you're dating a woman. You go out on a date, or you do something for her. Maybe you get her flowers, and then you check her social media afterwards, and she's sitting here posting about all of the dating experiences that she's had with you. Am I the only one who thinks that this is really creepy? Like, what happened to privacy? I don't understand why these people put their faces on videos, man, or like talk about other people, right? You're sitting here and you're talking about your interpersonal relationships online. I find it to be so incredibly disrespectful, man. Like, people who get on camera and they start talking about people like their friends or their family or people that they're dating. It's like, I always think to myself that they really must not care about them to be sharing about what exactly they're doing online. I miss the days when, you know, internet, people were just way more private. But nowadays you got people crying left, right, and center. I say people, but usually it's women, right? But you have people crying on the internet, telling their whole life stories. I mean, number one, who gives a damn? Number two, how pathetic. And number three, how disrespectful to other people.
Like, okay, we can talk about this. We can negotiate our way into this, you know? He's a gorgeous man. He's a successful man. I care about this man.
now mind you, this is not the 1950s anymore, and men are not just walking around proposing to every single woman. So you know a lot of went down before that dude was even considering a proposal. Plus, he actually believed she might say yes, which is what she was actually considering.
It caught me off guard. Even though I kind of had a sense it was coming, I still wasn't like totally prepared. And so I told him, I was like, I really need to think about this. This is a really big deal.
This is why, guys.
If you ever propose to a woman, again, this is something that I don't recommend at all because marriage is something that is very skewed against men. But if you ever, propose to a woman, if you ask her out, you ask for her phone number, I mean, whatever the case is, right? And she says anything other than a yes, just walk away from the woman, especially if it's marriage. If you ask a woman to marry you, which is essentially asking to give her a whole bunch of benefits and you get nothing in return, and she says maybe, that tells you all that you need to know, guys. Like, why would you continue to talk to this woman? If you propose to a woman, right, and she says maybe, I have to think about it, no. It's called off immediately. I'm never speaking to you again. It is completely done and dusted. That is crazy to me that men will put up with this crap. Like, you ask out a woman and she says maybe. Okay, go maybe some other dude. Complete waste of time. Not interested.
Guys, I and almost every creator in the space constantly says that marriage is dead. I made a video on divorce linked up here, showing how insanely biased the family courts are, and if you marry a woman like this, I guarantee you will experience that firsthand.
Oh yeah, you'll lose everything. You'll lose your money, you'll lose your kids, you'll lose your sanity, you'll probably lose your hair. If you have any left after you speak to this woman for like a month, it'll be just completely gone. I mean, you'll have nothing, man. Like, some of these women are just walking traps, essentially. Complete waste of time, complete waste of resources. I mean, you know, people like to pretend that men don't have emotions, but we certainly do, right? Emotionally investing into a woman like this is just asking for a whole bunch of heartache as well. I mean, she's sitting here dating some dude for a very long period of time who asked her to marry him, But meanwhile, she's dating some other young dude on the side as well. And she's sitting here saying that she doesn't want to play games. And these are the same women that wonder why dudes don't want to date them.
Now obviously, this woman is broken beyond belief, but to prove that it wasn't men who broke her, I'll let her explain how this happened.
So here's the thing. I was raised by a mother who didn't want me. And so she spent my entire developmental years, like I'm gonna try and say this without crying, letting me know that she didn't want me, that I was a burden.
You serious? Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode. You guys see what I mean about sharing crap on the internet? Like, who needs to know this? We don't need to know this. Why are you posting this publicly? It amazes me, man. People just jump on the internet and they spill their entire life stories as if, number one, anyone gives a crap, and as if, number two, it's anyone else's business. Like, this is none of my business. You know what I'm saying? Why is this publicly available?
To do things on my own. Like, she just... yeah, very dismissive of my entire existence. So I grew up with a belief system that nobody wanted me. That internal belief system has a way of rearing its ugly head. In fact, like, I was suicidal by the time I was 9.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. However, it is a great segue into our final and most disastrous situation of how older women are setting up their own daughters for failure in both dating and life in general. Because this Karen, yep, her name is actually Karen, has a truly gorgeous daughter who seems very lovely and wholesome. And so you might think, hey, perfect wifey material, right? Well, hold on, because before you guys go off and find a woman just like this, let me remind you of something that Patrick Bet David once said that really resonated with me since I actually lived this experience.
Who are the 5 friends you call after we have a terrible fight? So she gives me the names. Divorce. How about this one? Divorce. How about this one? Single. How about this one? Married. How about this one? Single. I said, you calling these guys? I said, you call these 5 people, guess who they're going to defend? She said, who? I said, you.
Yes, guys, I can't stress this enough. Before you commit to a woman, be really careful who her closest advisors are, since that will be your biggest problem going forward. And so when your girlfriend's mother is her bestie, who she runs to for advice, and that mother is batshit crazy or a jaded man-hater on a quest to find herself,
I am back. Back on here, back in the UK, and back to being the me before the trauma.
Then yeah, you're going to have a horrible time. Now, as with everything in life, you will always find someone doing it bigger and better, and so when it comes to terrible mom advice and guidance, Beth here really takes the cake.
A lot of men over 50 said that they wanted much younger women. However, with years comes age, but also maturity.
Because while Beth was making over 1,000 TikToks instead of providing her daughter with solid advice and guidance, little Brenna over here was getting pumped and dumped raw at Northern University, Illinois, which obviously led to the one and only possible outcome: boom, big old belly. Now if you're thinking, well, maybe she met a nice guy, she fell in love, and they're going to form this nice little family and raise a bunch of kids, no. This dude wants nothing to do with her or the kid, allegedly, because we can't really trust new mommies crying on TikToks, since we all remember Cake Mom.
I'm her ex-husband, and right now I have full custody of our kids. As you can see, I have all weekdays and weekends, and for her to get any rights back to the kids, these are the things that she needs to do.
You can tell how uncomfortable this guy is to even be on camera in the first place. I don't know the situation here, but here's my assumption. She makes a video crying about, you know, how unfair her treatment is and how awful this guy is. So he gets attacked by a bunch of strangers on the internet, called a scumbag, called all sorts of, you know, insults. So he's kind of forced to make a video where he explains himself and why the situation is the way it is. You see, guys are a lot more private with this stuff. We don't want to be on the internet talking about our personal lives. You know, we don't want to be around talking about like talking about kids and custody and all of this. This is not nobody's business. But all it does is honestly damage the children, to be honest with you. And people shouldn't be seeing into your life like this, right? This man's clearly uncomfortable. So the mother, let's have a look at this. The mother has to get a psychiatric examination. She has to get substantial participation in, at her sole expense, any psychiatric, psychological, and/or mental health treatment program. So she's got mental health issues, it seems. She has to have, so she's not employed, so she has to have employment for 6 months for a continuous period. So she's got mental health issues. She was unemployed, and she wants the kids. I would assume this section here is about having a permanent residence, so she doesn't seem to have a permanent residence with her kid's own bedroom. So this is a completely unstable woman, both physically and mentally, who is complaining about the lack of children. Like, she can't look after the kids, right? I mean, makes sense to me, right? You're crazy, you've got mental issues, you have no place for the kid to even stay, you don't have any source of income, and she's sitting here crying about the dude on TikTok trying to make him look like a bad person. I mean, this is just manipulation 101. I feel bad for this guy, man. Like, and oftentimes, I just want to point this out, okay? People will often say that men are the ones who are not responsible and we're not using contraception and things like this. But guys, I'm telling you, you can tell when a dude is using contraception. You cannot tell when a crazy woman is not on it. She can say that she is, but she might not actually be. And before you know it, you're completely screwed over and you have a kid to a crazy woman. Okay? But let's continue.
And for her to get any rights back to the kids, these are the things that she needs to do. And yes, child support, she owes that. It's up to over $21,000. So
yeah, that got.
I guarantee you this guy didn't make the video first. I guarantee you he's not out here saying, oh, this woman owes me this much child support, unless he was provoked in the first place. I guarantee you this guy did not make the video first, sitting here going, yeah, she owes me this much and she sucks and things like this. He probably got ragged on by a whole bunch of, you know, people on the internet because she told them that he was a piece of crap. You know, you don't see the guys whining when the women are behind in child support, which, by the way, is really rare, guys. In order for a woman to like really be in the situation that she is in, you have to be a very, really quite crazy situation, right? Like, in order for the woman to not get custody, that should already tell you that something's really wrong, because women typically get it.
$1,000. So
yeah, that got debunked real quick. But yeah, if true, Brenna got herself knocked up by some deadbeat who doesn't care about her at all and doesn't want anything to do with her child. Now, mind you, I will always say, if it is your kid, take care of it fully. I mean, definitely get a paternity test, perhaps even 2, just to make sure. But if it is your baby, take care of the little fucker. Come on, it is your own flesh and blood. That means something. However, this is another classic case of a guy who clearly did not give a damn about a girl, and the girl still letting him hit it raw, creating yet another young single mother who's going to blame men for all her struggles. All because Beth over here was too busy focusing on her own dating profile and lecturing us on all the things that men do wrong.
Yeah, of course. I mean, straight up fantastic dating coach material right here. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode here. I'm going to go clear my head. I'm going to the gym because I have had enough of this garbage. So we're going to be leaving it there. Just a quick announcement at the end, guys. If you're interested in becoming a Fiend Gang content creator, if you'd like to help me cover some of this cringe here on YouTube, make sure to check out the application in the video description. I'm not sure how long I will leave it open for. But otherwise, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.